Hello everyone, and welcome to an episode of Warlock Redstoned. Obliteration Redux is coming. Not gonna say soon, because I don't know if it's coming soon. Last time I mentioned that I'm looking for a job and I'm a student, and both of those things are difficult, so we're just gonna be doing a little video today. Essentially, I have two sheep farms. This one is, I learned of it through Pixel Riff, but it's not his design, I don't think, but it's very, very simple, very, very small, but I think that you could actually do a bit better. See, in this one we see the dispenser here. It double fires whenever this block gets updated. Just very all around kind of clunky. And like the chest is here, which is nice, and the chest is, you know, located somewhere else. But I have a distinct feeling that the chest being here, while convenient, it also kind of detracts from what it looks like. Where on this one, you actually need this hill here to cover up that. But on this one, it's nice and pretty. You only need this one block of elevation for reasons that we'll explain later. And real quick, I'm gonna wait and essentially show you guys how both of these take care of a sheep. So we're gonna sit here and we're going to watch and wait for each of these guys to regrow their wool and then get sheared. Now, I should note, the way that both of these work is very similar. As you noticed, the grass under him grew. He will now eat the grass and then get wool, and once he gets wool, he'll get sheared. And the same thing's going to happen over here, but you can't see it. It's really nice. Yeah. It's a very little one. I like it a lot more than that one. See, wait. See that? Boom. Yep. And boom, it's in there. Now we just gotta wait for this guy's to fire up. So I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna wait. And as we can see, the grass under him has regrown. Now we just have to wait for him to eat it, and then the farm will do its work. You're so hungry. You're so hungry. Eat the grass. And as you can see, as he eats the grass, he falls into the earth. And the job done. Beautiful. And as you can notice, there's no stuff up here. There's no like components. There's just the observer that you might have seen. And in this one, it's all clunky, bad, ick, terrible. I think that this one over here, this one's mine. I think that it's just a much better solution. It's much smaller, much more elegant, much more demure, especially in comparison to this clunky mess. But let's actually show you guys what's under the hood here. Really, it's quite straightforward, quite simple. I'm going to spend some time really quick clearing out this facade here that I built to make it so that like these both looked like they were on equal footing, which, I mean, clearly this one's superior. But I'm going to clear out this facade to let you see what I've made here. It's quite simple, but give me a minute. And there we go. As one can see, this is a very, very small device. Very, very nice, very, very small form factor. It's quite simple. There's not a lot of complicated things going on here. It's quite straightforward as far as all the redstone's concerned. But let's get into a little bit of the demonstration, shall we? So here we have a special little circuit. Oh dear, it didn't work again. No. There we go. That's what you should do. There he is. Okay. And when that gets powered, that's going to turn off. Is that correct? I think that's correct. Yeah, I'm going to say it is. There's a few differences between this and the actual model that I have. I'm going to note that right now. I'll list whatever is wrong with this one in the comments. It'll be pinned comment. But very straightforward, very simplistic. Anyways, what's happening here is that this observer checks this block for updates. If that block turns into a grass block, it powers this. Huh. Wait, no. I'm right. No, I was wrong. Frick. There we go. That's right. Okay. States are very important in this build. And then, yes. Yes. Okay. So, to explain this as quickly as possible, this block here will turn into grass. When it turns into grass, it updates the observer, and the observer sends a tick to this copper bulb, which in this case turns it off. This bulb stays on because it needs to be signaled again in order to turn off. When the sheep eats the grass, it triggers this bulb again, turning it back on, which powers this bulb, turning it off, which retracts this piston. Hopefully that made sense. Now, this piston retracts, and the sheep falls. The sheep falls. Okay, good. The sheep falls onto this slime block, and that sound is picked up by this calibrated skulk sensor, which is set to 2. Now, the reason it's set to 2 is because 2 is the sound of entities falling on solid blocks, which includes slime blocks. That calibrated skulk sensor sends a single pulse to this copper bulb, which then sends its prolonged pulse to this, it was supposed to be like a NOR latch, but no, wait, not a NOR latch. It was supposed to be a monostable circuit, but I think that what it turned into, it's not a NOR latch. What is it? It's essentially like, give me a 1 tick and only 1 tick pulse machine. I forget what it's called, but the signal goes into this block briefly, and for that brief amount of time, it powers this repeater, right before the piston extends the block up. Now, when it powers that repeater powers everything else in the circuit. Namely, it first, because of delays, it first triggers this dispenser, which has a bunch of shears in it. Okay, that one's just never been used. Then it powers this block, and the block launches the sheep back up into the still open hole under the sheep. That hole then gets re-triggered due to this circuit here set to the same delay as that circuit, but actually a little bit more delay, because when it's going through the copper bulbs, that takes its own like 1 tick sequence per component, I believe. So it literally is just like a single tick of delay per component, but it's just enough to catch the sheep, at least at this height. You might need to put more delays if you want to have the slime block throw the sheep up farther. You might need more delays. But that repeater also powers this system. And what this system is a... I can't remember what Etho called it, but essentially we're taking 1 pulse, we're splitting it into 1 very delayed pulse and 1 pretty instant pulse. This pulse goes off, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ticks after the slime block down there fires, and then this one goes off almost immediately after that. Well, a little bit more, but it sends a water bucket down to this hopper. That hopper then carries all the wool into our collection chest. So you'd have this on land, and then underneath of it you'd have like a basement. And yeah, it would all work out pretty well. But as I said, this is a very simplistic design. And if we just wait for him to eat again, we can actually watch all of this happen. So let's wait for him to get his eating on. So the grass just changed to grass. We can see that that has triggered this block. Now, once he eats, we should be able to watch him eat the grass. And I'm going to go down here so that when he eats, we can see him. And there he goes. So he eats it. He falls. He bounces. It triggers the sound. Launches him back up. The grass block goes back underneath of him. This re-triggers. We have more wool collected. And I'm going to play that in slow-mo so that you can actually see all of the things happening in the edit. what I'm saying is that this is the ultimate wool farm. Anyone using the old design, this junk heap, this trash, I just entered free cam on accident, this garbage, throw it away. No, you want this. So much more elegant, so much more demure, very tileable, highly sophisticated wool collection system that you could link to like a... Okay, this is actually like this bit, not a bit here. You could actually link this one to a massive water stream sorter and it would still work really well. But beautiful, lovely cover girl, just make the entire thing out of wool and, you know, insulate it from sound anywhere else, because jumping near this thing immediately screws it up. But besides that, this is peak engineering, Redstone manufacturing. How do I get out of free cam? This is perfection. It's such a simple, so straightforward design. I'm very proud of it, and I'm very proud of you. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. It's just, this should be the new norm. This should be what you look up. When you look up how to make a sheep farm, you should see this. You should see this glory of redstone engineering. Let's see if we can catch the sheep doing it again. We probably can't because it's random ticks. But yes, this is the pinnacle of human engineering. For anyone curious about how much of this wool is actually necessary, I'm going to take away all of the bulk, and then we'll look at it one final time. All right, so as far as actually like required to the circuit goes, this is all the wool you need. You could actually do away with that one too, and then you still have all the wool that is required. And look at him. He's so happy. He doesn't have to look at the gaping maw of a dispenser, but instead we have all of this. And he gets to go on a little fun ride every time he eats grass. It's great. He's not even cold. He's too pumped up on the adrenaline. But yeah, such a really quite simple design. For anyone who wants to make this farm, I'm nicknaming it When Sheep Fly. So that's fun. And if you didn't catch it already, this entire video is a bit. This is an idea. What is it? A practice in over-engineering. Essentially, I watched Impulse's latest video as of my recording this. This is probably going to get edited in like a day, so probably still his latest video. And he got invited to ZF's Is That Sheep Looking at Me? And I don't exist on the Hermitcraft server, so I thought that I would give it the good college try. And, you know, take a swing at it. Because, realistically, I should still be allowed to, you know, take... what is it? Inspiration from the prompts given there. And ZF's thing with Is That Sheep Looking at Me is to make the most complicated shearing machine that you can possibly make. And this isn't just a shearing machine. This is also a farm. The sheep doesn't just get sheared. The sheep's wool gets deposited directly into a chest. It's great. It's fantastic. It works every time. That last bit wasn't actually a bit. It does work every time. It's surprisingly good at being a sheep farm. But anyways, that's the end of my TED Talk. That's the end of this video. So I'll say I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. Safe travels, happy hunting, and Solo Deo Gloria. I did the outro wrong. And Solo Deo Gloria.